Hey everyone, Andrew back again with another music update, heavy metal update. It's been a while since I've done one of these, but I was waiting for a few new releases to come out before I made another video, and they have, so here it is. So yeah, we're just going to get straight into it. The first few albums I'm wanting to talk about I showed previously when I showed my prize winnings from Travis, Loriside 17. So Travis, once again, thanks a lot for the CDs. And I have listened to them, and I just wanted to give a quick little recap of what I thought of them. So yeah, we'll go through that pretty quickly, and then I'll get on to the stuff that I've actually picked up myself. So first up here we have Satan's Hollow, which is part of the new wave of traditional heavy metal, and this is their one and only album. It's their debut album. This is really good. It's just good old traditional heavy metal with an old school vibe to it and female vocalist, which is really good. There's sort of some horror influences within the music as well, which of course is a good thing for me. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. It was pretty good, so I definitely recommend checking it out. The next two were absolutely incredible. So we have Air Raid with their latest album, Across the Line. And these guys have released a few other albums, and I'm definitely going to pick them up over time, because this was absolutely fantastic. It's just good old traditional heavy metal with an 80s sound to it, which I really like, of course. But yeah, these guys are absolutely amazing. Killer songs, really good vocals, drumming and guitars, so highly recommend this band. And the last was probably my favourite out of everything that Travis sent me, and that is Night Demon with their latest album, Darkness Remains. This was absolutely incredible. Again, another new wave of traditional heavy metal band. Great throwback to 80s style metal. I got a lot of Iron Maiden and Judas Priest influence within this album, and this was just absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, this one comes highly recommended, and I believe they've got another couple of albums which I definitely need to pick up. But yeah, this album was excellent, so yeah, definitely check these guys out if you're a fan of new wave of traditional heavy metal. So Travis, thanks a lot for those. Anyway, let's get on to what I picked up myself. So first up, some death metal. I got Cannibal Corpse with their album Kill. Not really much to say about these guys. I'm sure everyone is pretty familiar with them. I'm basically collecting the albums when I can find them for cheap, and I think I ended up picking this one up for about $5 on eBay, so really happy with that. This was one that I've been wanting to pick up for a while now, and it's not the easiest one to come across. And I think I also got this for about $5. It was a bidding auction, no one else bid, and I won it, which was pretty cool. And that is Nuclear Assault, Handle with Care. This is an absolute classic album. This is a pretty cool release. Comes in a little slip sleeve. Same artwork and everything, but it's pretty cool. Classic thrash right here. Not much more to say about that, so really happy to have picked this one up. I just really need Nuclear Assault Survive, which is a pretty hard album to get, but hopefully I can find it at some point. But yeah, classic thrash right here. Next up is probably a band that I've really been most addicted to recently. I've kind of taken a little bit of a break from thrash, and I'm listening to stuff that's not so heavy, and I cannot believe it's taken me this long to get around to Van Halen. This was $10 at my local music store. It's just the best of Van Halen, and what can I say? This is just absolutely amazing. This is really the first exposure that I've really had with Van Halen, apart from one or two of their popular hits and radio songs. I don't really need to talk too much about Van Halen probably, because I'm sure everyone and their dog already knows about this band. But yeah, great stuff, and after listening to this I'm definitely interested in going a little bit more in depth with some of their studio albums, especially the 80s stuff. So that is Van Halen Greatest Hits. Next up is a band that I've recently discovered, and it's a thrash band, and it's actually what is playing in the background. I'm not really too sure how many of you out there are familiar with these guys. I'm sure some of you hardcore thrash fanatics have heard of them before, but that is Hallows Eve, with this little box set, History of Terror. This is a really nice set actually, and I believe this is basically everything that the band's released. As far as I know, they've only released 3 studio albums, which is included on the set, and it also comes with it's a 4-disc set, and it comes with disc 1 has their first 2 albums, Tales of Terror and Death and Insanity. Disc 2 has their 3rd album, Monument, and some demo and rehearsals. Disc 3 is some live stuff, and disc 4 is a DVD. So pretty good set. I'm not really too sure if this is rare or anything like that. I did pick this one up online. Not really a lot to say about this band, apart from it's just your good old thrash. So if you're a thrash fan and you're looking for, I guess, a more obscure, less talked about band, definitely check out Hallows Eve. And the main stuff that I was actually waiting to get in before I did this update, I'm pretty excited on all of these actually. So first up we have a really new release from Saxon and their new album Thunderbolt. I'm a big fan of Saxon, you guys know that. I've talked about them quite a bit in previous videos, and this album is absolutely exceptional. Now, I don't own physical copies of their last few albums, but I've got to say I definitely enjoyed this a little bit more than I did their previous album, Battering Ram. This one is just absolutely phenomenal from start to finish, and yeah, it's a real testament to these guys. They have been around for many years, and they're still releasing absolutely amazing quality albums. So if you're a Saxon fan, or if you're a fan of traditional metal, definitely pick this album up. It's really good. Yeah, just a great release, and I can probably see this being a strong contender for my top 10 of the year. So that is Saxon Thunderbolt. The next 3 I'll just quickly whip through. A lot of you are probably familiar with these 3 albums. They're re-releases, pretty recent releases actually, and these are also available on vinyl, which I haven't got around to picking up yet. But yeah, Testament once again have had a few re-releases. So the first one we have here is First Strike Still Deadly, which is basically an updated version of songs from their first 2 albums. I haven't actually listened to this yet, but you guys know how much I love Testament, so I had to pick this one up. These are all in digi-style packaging, and the disc there. So that's pretty cool. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what these songs sound like updated. Next up we have Testament Demonic. This is probably, well yeah, this is definitely my least favourite Testament album. But again, this is one band that I will be a completist for, so this one had to be picked up. It's not a terrible album, but it's definitely the weakest in my opinion. And lastly for this update, but certainly not least, we have the reissue of The Gathering. Really good reissue, because I know the original CD is pretty rare, hard to find, and pretty expensive when you do find it. So for you guys out there that don't own the original release of The Gathering, now is your time to pick this up. I think this is an absolutely phenomenal album. It's kind of a different sound for this band. It's got a few sort of death metal elements within it, but it is really good. So yeah, highly recommend checking The Gathering out if you've never heard it before. Now, I haven't actually had a chance to listen to these re-releases yet, so I cannot give my opinions on what they sound like, but I'm sure they sound pretty good. So yeah, really good to pretty much have most of Testament's albums being reissued recently. I think the only one that hasn't been is the New Order, so hopefully that does sometime soon, but most of the other ones have, so that's really good. Anyway guys, that pretty much does it for this update. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of the albums that I have shown within this update, and thank you for watching.